Judges chapter 7. Defeat of Midian. Early the next morning, Jerubbaal, that is Gideon, encamped by the spring of Harod with all his soldiers. The camp of Midian was north of him, beside the hill of Moreh, in the valley. The father said to Gideon, "You have too many soldiers with you for me to deliver Midian into their power. Lest Israel vaunt itself against me and say, 'My own power has saved me.' So announce in the hearing of the soldiers, if anyone is afraid or fearful, let him leave. Let him depart from Mount Gilead." 22,000 of the soldiers left, but 10,000 remained. The father said to Gideon, "There are still too many soldiers. Lead them down to the water, and I will test them for you there. If I tell you that a certain man is to go with you, he must go with you. But no one is to go if I tell you he must not." When Gideon led the soldiers down to the water, the father said to him, "Everyone who laps up the water as a dog does with his tongue, you shall set aside by himself, and everyone who kneels down to drink, raising his hands to his mouth, you shall set aside by himself. Those who lapped up the water with their tongues numbered 300. But all the rest of the soldiers knelt down to drink the water. The father said to Gideon, "By means of the 300 who lapped up the water, I will save you and deliver Midian into your power. So let all the other soldiers go home." They took up such supplies as the soldiers had with them, as well as their horns. And Gideon sent the rest of the Israelites to their tents, but kept the 300 men. Now the camp of Midian was below him in the valley. That night the father said to Gideon, "Go descend on the camp, for I have delivered it into your power. If you are afraid to attack, go down to the camp with your aide Purah, and listen to what they are saying. After that you will have the courage to descend on the camp." So he went down with his aide Purah to the outposts of the armed men in the camp. The Midianites, Amalekites, and the Kedemites were lying in the valley, thick as locusts. Their camels could not be counted, for they were as many as the sands on the seashore. When Gideon arrived, one man was telling another about a dream. "I had a dream," he said, "that a round loaf of barley bread was rolling into the camp of Midian. It came to a certain tent and struck it and turned it upside down, and the tent collapsed. This can only be the sword of the Israelite, Gideon, son of Joash." The other replied, "Now the father has delivered Midian and all the camp into his power." When Gideon heard the account of the dream and its explanation, he bowed down. Then returning to the camp of Israel, he said, "Arise, for the father has delivered the camp of Midian into your power." He divided the 300 men into 3 companies and provided them all with horns and with empty jars and torches inside the jars. "Watch me and follow my lead," he told them. "I shall go to the edge of the camp, and as I do, you must do also. When I and those with me blow horns, you too must blow horns all around the camp and cry out for the father and for Gideon." So Gideon and the 100 men who were with him came to the edge of the camp at the beginning of the middle watch, just after the posting of the guards. They blew the horns and broke the jars they were holding. When the 3 companies had blown their horns and broken their jars, they took the torches in their left hands, and in their right the horns they had been blowing, and cried out, "A sword for the Father, Most High." As for Gideon, they all remained standing in place around the camp, while the whole camp began to run and shout and flee. When they blew the 300 horns, the father set the sword of one against another throughout the camp, and they fled as far as Bethshita, in the direction of Zerida, near the border of Abel Meholah at Tabith. Israelites were called to arms from Naphtali, from Asher, and from all Manasseh, and they pursued Midian. Gideon also sent messengers throughout the mountain region of Ephraim to say, "Go down to intercept Midian, and seize the water courses against them as far as Beth Barah, as well as the Jordan." So all the Ephraimites were called to arms, and they seized the water courses as far as Beth Barah and the Jordan as well. They captured the 2 princes of Midian, Oreb and Zeeb, killing Oreb at the rock of Oreb and Zeeb at the wine press of Zeeb. Then they pursued Midian, but they had the heads of Oreb and Zeeb brought to Gideon beyond the Jordan.